And how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. The news that we're going to be talking about today is something interesting that I noticed within job listings for Bethesda Game Studios after keeping an eye on these job postings over the last 2 years. This information gives us a very clear indication that something big is happening within Bethesda Game Studios. And no, I'm not talking about the Elder Scrolls 6, although yes, that is happening within Bethesda Game Studios, and I guess I kinda am talking about the Elder Scrolls 6, but now we're moving away from the point of this video. In regards to this new information, I don't know if it's a sign of major changes within Bethesda in the days to come, or if a new major unannounced Bethesda game is starting its very early stages of development. Maybe it's Giant Monster News or Spy Team. Or maybe all of this is a sign of an unexpected major announcement from Bethesda to happen very, very soon. Because honestly, it seems like any one of these is possible based upon this new information. And as always, we're going to be going through all of this information together, because I'm going to be recording my screen using the magic of skooma. That way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%, and that way you can verify this information for yourself if you choose to. And we're gonna start our adventure right here, and what this is all of the recent job postings for Bethesda Game Studios within the last 30 days. And yes, most of, if not all of these pertain to Bethesda Game Studios because I altered the search to specifically search for Rockville, Maryland, where Bethesda Game Studios is located. There's also some other Bethesda offices there as well, and ZeniMax Online Studios isn't that far from Rockville, Maryland either, but rest assured, almost all of these, if not the entirety of these job postings, are for Bethesda Game Studios, and we will be looking at these more closely on Bethesda Game Studios' actual website. I just wanted to show you that there is a very huge list of stuff here, all of these posted within the last 30 days, which you can see up here by this filter, and there's all sorts of things. There isn't just like specifically one department looking for more people, there's a lot of job listings for multiple departments within Bethesda Game Studios. In fact, I think almost all of them. There's even some like undescriptive job postings for just general stuff too, so they need some people to push some brooms as well. They need some people to push the bleeding edge of that broom and the clean up Bethesda's cafeteria. But as you can see, there's a lot of major job postings, things like senior producer, live services manager, quest designer, Q&A, game programmer, actually a lot of programmer, and a lot of producer job postings, which is a very important and integral job to have within a studio. The fact that Bethesda is hiring so many producers, and then they have game designers, programmers, software engineers, video producers, concept artists, another producer job, an animator job, regional sales manager, character artist, international custom service manager, big data engineer. Ooh, you gotta have someone big to handle the big data. Human resources, events manager, associate brand manager, there's level designer. You can see there's pretty much something for everything. Lighting artist, graphics programmer, international customer service manager, which I guess they need given some of the other stuff that Bethesda has been doing in the past. Voice designer, again, this is like the 15th time we've seen this job posting over the last 2 years. Senior software engineer, game services. There's just a whole list of stuff, everything from sound to software to graphics to the executives like producers and even event managers. So you can see within the last 30 days, not only are there multiple job postings for Bethesda Game Studios, but it seems like there are many job postings for multiple different departments within Bethesda Game Studios, and we can look at that more closely here. This is ZeniMax's actual career website for all of their job opportunities, and again, I set the filter to Rockville, Maryland, so we can tell exactly where these job postings are for. You can see a lot of them are for Bethesda Game Studios, however, there's just as many on this list for Bethesda Softworks, which again could pertain to Bethesda Game Studios. It just depends on what exactly the department and job is. But if you take a look on this kind of mirrors the other site. There's a lot of different job postings for a lot of different departments. We have programming department job postings, marketing and public relations, and there's actually a lot of marketing and public relations job postings, more than you would think for just like one time. I mean, I'm sure that the marketing and public relations are always looking for people, but the fact that they are looking for an actual event coordinator, an events manager right here, leads me to believe that there might be a possible major unexpected announcement coming from either Bethesda Softworks or Bethesda Game Studios. You can see that this is specifically for Bethesda Softworks, but it would make sense that the event manager would work for Bethesda Softworks and not just one of the studios within Bethesda Softworks, such as Bethesda Game Studios, id Studios, and etc. You can see that as an events manager for Bethesda Softworks, you'll be responsible for planning and supporting events related to the organization's participation in trade shows, exhibitions, and special events. So that basically means like E3, PAX, QuakeCon, stuff like that. But the fact that they're hiring for an events manager right now, when E3 2019 was very recent, leads me to believe that there might be a possible unexpected announcement from Bethesda Game Studios. I mean, they do throw their own events sometimes, especially when a new game is about to be released, to let people maybe play the beta, to maybe show a trailer or something. Bethesda Game Studios doesn't have to wait until major game expos like PAX or the Game Awards or E3 to announce stuff. They can choose to do this stuff on their own time, although it makes sense for them to wait until these major events because there's just a lot more people paying attention. There's a higher demographic watching those kind of shows than there would be specifically just for Bethesda. That's not saying anything against Bethesda, it's just when you have a lot of different studios, a lot of different companies at E3, there's a greater range of people that attend that for different reasons, and you can kind of pick up on those people with your announcements, trailers, etc. as well. However, with that in mind, there's only one possible thing we can take away from this. For all we know, Bethesda Softworks might just want to have more people on deck for their next major game show, for the next expo or something. Even though a lot of this is speculative, the fact that these job postings are somewhat recent within the last 30 days shows that Bethesda is having some sort of internal shift somehow. They're making some plans back there, hidden in those offices. They're gonna be taking over the world using bees or something. And then look at all these. Producer. There is a lot of producer jobs, even for Bethesda Game Studios. A producer is a very important part in the development of a game. You can see that Bethesda Game Studios is looking for an experienced producer to join our team that is pushing the bleeding edge of RPG development for mobile, PC, and consoles. Producers work with all parts of the team to facilitate communication, solve problems, and remove anything getting in the way of other disciplines being able to work. Producer is pretty much like an overseer of a game project, and I would assume that Bethesda Game Studios would have all their producers on deck for Starfield and even the Elder Scrolls 6, so I'm not sure what this is a sign of. I would say that maybe Bethesda Game Studios has a new unannounced game that they're working on, or maybe they're just hiring producers to further along the content for Fallout 76 as new DLC and expansion packs happen. They'll need new producers to oversee these projects, or even additions to the Elder Scrolls Blades. Bethesda Game Studios doesn't make the Elder Scrolls Online, so these producer jobs wouldn't pertain to the Elder Scrolls Online, so it's hard to tell, but my main point of this video is just to show you that there is a wide range of jobs being posted by Bethesda Softworks and Bethesda Game Studios, and they seem to cover like every aspect of game development and of just basic executive stuff and production stuff as well. You can see there's web development, global readiness program, which I'm not sure what that is. It sounds like some world domination stuff. Developer tools, site reliability, data services, game services, senior producers, and then there's like even video producers for people that want to make trailers, so they might be making trailers back there. Bethesda Game Studios might be hiring people to make the next wave of Starfield or even the Elder Scrolls 6 trailers. So again, this kind of pertains that maybe another major announcement from Bethesda Game Studios might be happening before the next big game expo, but who knows. It's fun to speculate, but one thing that is definitely confirmed is that something big is going on within Bethesda. Almost as if they're starting an entire new studio or another branch of a studio within the company. Maybe for Bethesda Game Studios, they've been getting a lot of expansions lately with Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, for example, and then whatever the heck was going on, I think in Moscow, they opened up a studio or something up there. But it seems like we could speculate all day on what Bethesda is doing, everything from what the heck they're doing with the Elder Scrolls 6 to what is going on with these job postings. So long story short, Bethesda Game Studios is hiring a ton of people for a ton of different departments, and that's a sign that they're going through some major changes. They're growing a lot for some reason, and they might have a new unexpected major announcement coming very soon. But as always, I want to know what you have to say about all of this. What do you think these job postings mean? Why do you think Bethesda seems to be expanding so rapidly, suddenly, and all of these job postings being posted mostly within the last 30 days? Do you think they're working on a new unannounced game? Do you think that this might tie into the Elder Scrolls 6 somehow? Let me know down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet, make it featured in a future video. Like this video if you enjoy the content, and subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on if you want to stay in the know when it comes to the latest and the greatest gaming news. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates and random stuff about me. Come over to the community Discord chat server. There is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. Come over to the loot drop over on Teespring, the official Skullzi merchandise site, where you can get a bullshit capacity meter t-shirt to let everyone know that your bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And if you want to have your hand in providing future content and getting access to unique and awesome awards, then consider subscribing to the community on Patreon or joining the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Bethesda Game Studios conquers the world with bees.
just works.